The United States is preparing to launch what the Donald Trump administration is calling an economic D-Day against Iran, with the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent warning that Washington is entering the endgame of its campaign against Iran. In a post on X on Sunday, Bessent said that the U.S. was preparing what he described as the single greatest financial offensive ever marshaled against an adversary. He is expected to announce details of the new measures at a press conference. Well, the planned sanctions could go beyond Iran and target foreign banks, shipping companies, exchange houses, and governments that continue to conduct businesses with the Tehran. Washington says that the objective is to cut off the economic channels that help Iran earn revenue, move money, and sell its oil internationally. Bessent has described the strategy as a one-two punch, combining existing military and maritime pressure with what he says could be the toughest sanctions ever imposed on Iran. He has also warned nations that purchase Iranian oil, transport its petroleum, or provide financial services to Tehran that they could face serious economic consequences. And the latest move comes after months of conflict involving the United States, Israel, and Iran, and years of American sanctions against Tehran. Bessent argues that the military damage allegedly inflicted on Iran has created an opportunity for Washington to intensify economic pressure and force Tehran back to the negotiating table. Well, according to Bessent, the U.S. has severely damaged Iran's military capabilities and nuclear infrastructure. He has argued that stronger economic pressure could weaken the Iranian government further and reduce the need for another large-scale military campaign. However, experts face a major question that how much further can Washington tighten the screws? Iran already faces thousands of sanctions and significant economic restrictions, and any attempt to target Iranian oil terminals or its so-called shadow fleet could also affect global energy markets, and China is another major challenge for the U.S. strategy. Beijing remains Iran's most important oil customer, purchasing a large share of Iranian crude. Bessent has warned nations supporting Iran's oil trade, but Washington has not clearly stated whether Chinese banks or other major Chinese entities will face sanctions. And any major action against Chinese financial institutions could increase tensions between Washington and Beijing at a sensitive time. Iran has strongly rejected the American threat. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail called the planned sanctions an attempt to impose U.S. authority beyond its borders and argued that such secondary sanctions have no basis in international law. Iranian security official Mohsin issued an even stronger warning, saying that if the economic war continues, Iran could stop oil exports through the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf. He warned that any country supporting the American economic campaign could be considerable to be committing an act of war. Iranian leaders have also called for diplomacy, as President Masoud Pezeshkian has said ending the conflict through negotiations would be preferable, while Parliament Speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf acknowledged the pressure on Iran's economy, warning that military strength alone cannot sustain a country if economic growth, production, and financial stability collapse. And with Washington preparing its new sanctions package, the focus is now on how far the Donald Trump administration will go, whether major trading partners such as China will be targeted, and how Tehran will respond. Well, the announcement could mark a major escalation in the economic confrontation between the US and Iran, with potential consequences not only for Tehran but also for global oil markets and the wider geopolitical situation in the Middle East. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.